Alright, Landers, so today we're finally showcasing the brand new Brave Battle Queen. I can't believe I'm saying this, but we have a new 1000-year Blood War MILA Rose. As far as Brave Battles is concerned right now, she is by far the most dominating character in the meta, and it really only comes down to one skill that this character does have. It's a first of a new trend that we're likely going to see future Brave Battle characters have, where she has Persistence Breaker. Now, for those that are new, when a character does die with Persistence, they will basically become invincible for 5 more seconds, giving you a natural advantage to any other character that does not have Persistence. And over the last years since Aaroniero did introduce it, every new Brave Battle character has had this skill. So now with MILA Rose, not only does she herself have the Persistence skill, so when she's defeated, she will have that invincibility for 5 seconds. But thanks to Persistence Breaker, she just ignores it. She goes through it, giving her now the advantage because no one can kill her fast enough. Right now, the only way to really counter this unit is to 1, have the character yourself, or 2, have a Brave Battle character that can do some decent amount of damage, and also just build them to be really tanky. Characters like Buck and also Meninja, for example, are characters that can technically counter MILA Rose, but you're not really countering, you're kind of just stalling it out. In the case of Meninja, by the way, a funny thing was actually discovered recently, where if she actually inflicts MILA Rose with confusion, MILA Rose will actually end up killing herself and potentially even your teammates. So, unironically, one of the best ways to counter a Persistence Breaker unit, at least as of right now, is to inflict confusion. Can you actually believe that? Unfortunately, though, there's not really any character in the meta right now, again, besides Meninja, that can reliably inflict confusion. And even then, you have to get lucky. So it's not a reliable strategy, but it's something just to, keep in mind. Other than that, though, besides, the meta-defining Persistence Breaker skill, this character has everything you want in a Brave Battle unit. She has Flight +3. She's immune to invincibility. She ignores invincibility. She can prevent last survival. Under half stamina, she decreases the damage that she does take. She can then also deal more damage. And then also what we did see get introduced during the 9th anniversary, if you are a heart or mind character, you can negate their debuffs and also boost effects. So essentially what you have here is an all-in-one package unit, everything you want in a Brave Battle character, while also most importantly being in a run con. No one's going to have killer against her, however she will have killer against Quincy's and also Soribas. Now when it comes to the team that we are using today, I'm pretty much cycling through 2 different teams. Team number 1 right now is definitely the best team that you can use, and then team number 2, we're basically switching out Renji for Aaroniero in the potential chance they don't have Renji in their team. Now the main reason why we are using these 4 characters in particular is because 1, again, MILA Rose has the Persistence Breaker, so you want to have her on your team. Arskin, as of right now, is still the only Brave Battle character in the game that can actually get off a team boost without it being countered by another character. So you still want Arskin in your team, especially as a ranged character. He deals good damage, he poisons the entire team, but most importantly, he's here for the team boost, the extra 43% attack, focus, and also defense. In the case of Renji, there are still a lot of Aorohimes in the meta, especially with the idea that Arskin is as prevalent as he is. You're going to see a lot of Aorohime, and with that, Renji is a natural counter to her, but also, he can get a debuff off. The only way he can't get a debuff off is if the enemy team has another Renji, right? So if you come across a team with no Renji, for example, you're pretty much guaranteed to debuff them, and then also boost your own stats with Arskin in the team. It's probably very rare for me to use this team in particular, but more often than not, we are going to use these 3 characters. Now, the way I'm building these characters is fairly simple. We're using a Golden Purple at 5-star plus, a Golden Chappie, and also a normal Chappie. With that, I'm giving him the best things that I possibly can give. There's definitely a lot of room for improvement here, but these just give him the most stats that I can give him. My Renji, keep in mind, is max transcended, with dodge and also low stamina. MILA Rose, again, going with the exact same build. It's basically what you want to do for characters like this. Again, as always, room for improvement with the links, but these links that I do have give her the most stats. She is 2-5, also once more with dodge and also low stamina. And the last character for this team is Arskin. Again, exact same build, nothing's changing here, with full DR and also normal attack damage. In his case, he's 1-5, once more with dodge and low stamina. So with that said, first up we have Yuno. So what we're going to do right here is put MILA Rose against their Arskin. I think right now, Arskin is probably the character you want to hunt after if they don't have a MILA Rose in their team, because if you can stop them from getting their boost off, that's going to give you the benefit in terms of stats. Mostly everyone is using the attack strategy, So likely what we do see is that they aren't going to use the boost straight away. And sometimes you can kill their Askin before the boost does go off. In that case, it wasn't really a close match there, but I'm pretty sure they did get the boost off and we didn't. But again, still crazy to see that we're instantly taking out these characters that have the persistent skill, because that gives you such a massive advantage to anything that doesn't have MILA Rose. Because once she's done with Askin, she will move on to, Renji, take him out in one hit, and then move on to the third character. It's quite ridiculous, I will be honest. Next up, we have Kenpachi. In this case, I feel like it's more appropriate just to do MILA Rose versus MILA Rose. In this case, it really comes down to who kills who first. Now, in this case, I got really lucky there. Not like it would have mattered, to be fair, but we actually did inflict weakening on their MILA Rose, and that gave us the advantage. And that's something to keep in mind with this character too, right? Is that she can inflict weakening plus. She doesn't have an increased chance to do so, but if she does inflict it, well, that character likely is going to instantly get defeated. And unfortunately, the same can be said for the other way. If you're going against a team that has MILA Rose and they inflict a status summon on you, even if you're well built, likely that is going to be the end for your team. So some games, very rarely, you might just lose to RNG with the weakening status summon. So teams like this are prime targets for us to go against, because Renji is going to counter Orihime, Askin is going to counter their Renji, and then obviously our Mininya is taking down their Askin as quick as possible, and then making her way to the other characters where they will then get defeated. 7-second run, and I'm pretty sure in that case, Mininya did take out both Orihime and also Askin. Next up, we have this particular team. They do have a max transcended Orihime, although that's not going to be much of a problem for me. Their Renji goes down super quick, his persistence is activated, Sergeant has now been weakened, he goes down too, and we're making our way to Orihime, and we actually do activate that persistence breaker and take her down too. I will say though, it is a tad bit unfortunate how Sergeant has been treated in Brave battles. He's still a good character, but he's now kind of been phased out thanks to this character, MILA Rose. I felt like, if anything, to maybe make Sergeant a bit more unique when compared to MILA Rose, is if she didn't have the negate buffs and also debuffs to hard characters. Because right now, quite frankly, there's just no reason to use Sergeant over MILA Rose. They basically have the exact same skills. MILA can actually deal more damage, and again, also has the persistence breaker. Look at that. Is that not crazy that we finished a game in under 3 seconds? It's been a while since we've seen something like that. Yuha is up next. Let's see how we deal against him. He's a max transcended character. There's a chance he could win if he actually inflicts us with paralysis. Doesn't seem like he's getting quite lucky, so he goes down. Renji deals with Orihime, and Askin deals with Sergeant. No need for the persistence breaker there. The characters just did what they needed to do. So when it comes to a matchup like this, a mirror match for the most part, maybe this is the best play that I can possibly do. Make my best character Renji, since he is max transcended, put him against the MILA Rose to kind of stall her out. And that way, my MILA Rose would take down their Askin, which she did do. And then that gave her enough time to get to their MILA before she activated my Renji's persistence. If my Renji wasn't 1-5, I think a mirror match like that would be quite difficult. Maybe in that case, you would want to put your MILA Rose against their MILA Rose. If you know you're going to win, if you have more stats, better links, accessories, etc., that might be more beneficial. But for me, with my Transcendence, I feel like putting my Renji against their MILA is the best thing that I possibly can do. So again, another example, a mirror match in this case. Let's see how it does go. They have a 21-21-21 MILA Rose. My Renji is doing a lot of damage there. Unfortunately, did get weakened, so he did go down super quick. But like I said, we focused on taking down their Askin as soon as possible, and that gave us the opportunity to stall out the MILA Rose and have it so Askin and MILA all go after their MILA, and therefore get defeated just about the time Renji got defeated. So this team right here does have a Mininya, and I kind of want to see if she can inflict confusion on us, because if she does, like now for example, this could end bad for me. Luckily, we're quite tanky under 50%. She actually did inflict the confusion, or I'm confusing that with the poison effects. But my MILA Rose did get inflicted with some type of status summon, and had it been confusion right when we were about to be defeated or activate our persistence, we would actually end up killing ourselves and potentially even our team. So realistically, the one thing to really look out for, what you maybe don't want to go against, is a very well-built Mininya. Because if you do go against one and they inflict you with confusion, that could be game over for you and your whole team. I know I am in 30 right now, but they're still very similar in terms of total power. Right now, I'm on like 47k, 49k. We're getting a lot of high 40ks here in 30. their Arskin goes down super quick. I can't even keep track of what's going on in some of these matches sometimes. I'm going to try and pay attention to the next game if we're getting our boost off and if we're somehow stopping them from activating their boost by just killing them fast enough. Now, in this case, we're going to do Arskin versus Arskin. We're going to do our MILA versus their MILA and hopefully win the fight, right? It really comes... Oh, that's not looking too good. Did we get... Okay, hold on. Never mind, we came back. Oh, that was very close. Wow. So we actually got weakened there, I'm pretty sure. However, they got the boost off straight away, so it looked very scary there for a brief second until we activated our boost. Like, we were almost doing no damage to MILA Rose there until we basically got under half stamina. So for this team matchup, I'm kind of throwing here, but I should put my MILA against theirs. I want to see if we can somehow get the MILA Rose confused and somehow kill our own team. Never mind, their Mininja goes down. We're chilling. MILA Rose is making her way to the enemy team. Oh, okay. One thing to keep in mind too, again, if you do grab the Soul Bomb and your character is far away, use the Soul Bomb on MILA to basically do a map-wide AoE attack. And if anyone does have their persistence activated, it will then defeat them. Now, this team does have more total power than me at 51,000 since they do own 3 max transcended characters. However, that's not going to stop us from winning since we do have the perfect matchup here. Somehow, their Aaroniero got instantly defeated. Maybe we hit her with a strong attack there. We were focused on Arskin, and that's something to keep in mind too, right? With the attack strategy, the characters themselves don't always use their strong attacks right away, and in some cases, a strong attack free from MILA Rose could actually be beneficial by taking out an enemy in another lane. And I think that's what happened in that particular run. Going into our next quest, let's see how this does go. So, MILA versus Arskin, we are poisoned. I think he just activated his team boost, but I believe we also got debuffed at the same time. Either way, super easy. No damage really taken from our side. On to our next one. Let's see how this one does go. So we do have the advantage here, putting Aaroniero against my Renji. Their Arskin might have activated a team boost. I'm not entirely too sure. Hold on. Okay, it was looking a bit scary there. But MILA Rose, I keep messing up their names. MILA Rose did activate her persistence. And that just, again, showcases the big difference there when you have Persistence Breaker and you don't have it. Because my MILA would have lost against their Arskin if we did not have the Persistence Breaker skill. Pretty much, though, every character won their own lane. So pretty much everyone did their job there. And I think it was, again, only really close because they got the team boost right off from the get-go. Onwards to our next match, we have an Aaroniero, Renji, and also Arskin team. Not too bad for us since we do have the direct counters. And yeah, to be fair, I mean, I can throw in Aaroniero every now and then, but I really don't think I will be. This team does seem to do it all, since it does counter most of the main units that you are coming against. And in the case of MILA Rose, like, she can basically go against anyone you want to put her against. Because before, I was usually switch around my team, right? Kind of like this. I was always going to go back and forth. Very occasionally use a team like this, but not so much nowadays. But yeah, with a team like this, we can kind of just put MILA against anyone, make it guaranteed that we take them out, and then again, because we are seeing a lot of Renjis, Arskin's good against him, and if we come across any Aaroniros, Renji is good against her. Now, in terms of how they're going to up this, we know pretty much guaranteed that the next Brave Battle character, likely now released during the 10th anniversary, will also have Persistence Breaker, and we're going to get to a point now where everyone has Persistence Breaker, and at that point, it's not going to be worth wow anymore. Kind of like invincibility. Everyone basically has ignore invincibility that you don't even realize it anymore, right? So I'm kind of curious where this is next going to go. What's the next big power creep, right? We can already block all debuffs and boosts. We already can prevent last-ditch survival. We can ignore invincibility, and now we can prevent or go through persistence. It might be time for an SP meta, I will be honest. Maybe not, I don't know. But one thing I will say, where they can definitely make a character like MILA Rose get power crept, and that could even happen for our next release, right? It's pretty much making Arskin, but give him Persistence Breaker. Right now, Arskin has a really good range because he is a ranged character with long reach. He's able to attack from half the map. And given the fact that MILA Rose is a melee character, you know, if someone does release and is ranged with long reach and also Persistence Breaker, likely they are going to be able to defeat the enemy quick enough. Likely, wherever that character might be, will be able to even maybe defeat MILA Rose before she even gets to him. But I do think at some point as well, we are due a technique character that can negate speed characters, boost, and also debuffs. And likely we might see that during the 10th anniversary, because that way we're going to get another character with Persistence Breaker and also a way to finally counter out the boost that Arskin now can use. And with that in mind, right, I'm still surprised Arskin himself didn't have a way to negate speed characters, boosts, and also debuffs, because that was kind of the trend, right? You know, Sergeant can counter mind characters and heart characters. Renji has a debuff himself, but also counters power and technique characters by making it so they can't use any boost or debuffs. So I was kind of surprised Askin doesn't have that. But to be fair, it is what it is. I think it's good nonetheless that we can still get one character in the meta right now that can actually still activate a boost. And right now it does give him more value too, right? Even though MILA Rose is clearly the best Brave Battle character in the game, Askin is a close second because of how valuable he is on the team for the fact that he's the only character amongst all these Brave Battle kings and queens that can actually get off a team boost and give you a stat advantage. For this match, we're doing a complete mirror match. Let's see how this one does go. So, their MILA Rose actually inflicted us with weakening. I'm pretty sure MILA Rose does not have Debilitator. I'm pretty confident she doesn't. So, fortunately, even though MILA Rose can inflict weakening, and that could be toxic in and of itself in terms of RNG, luckily, it only lasts like 2 seconds. So, it doesn't make that much of a difference if you do get inflicted with the weakening. Because we did, and we've done this a few times in this game, and still end up winning the match. Next up, they have a Yuha Bach. Lucky for us, we have MILA Rose, so we are going to negate his team boost. So no worry with that. And with that in mind, we're going to put Renji against him because he should do a pretty good job, which he does do. 5-second game done instantly. And it looks like we activated their Renji's persistence like straight away. And that's because of, again, Askin's really good range. MILA against MILA. Let's see how this one does go. They also have Yuha Bach, so no worries of them getting a team boost. We can get a team boost off, though, if Askin decides to use it, which he does do now. And that way, we instantly took out their MILA Rose super quick because we just had extra stats. More stats than they could possibly even give to themselves because we have MILA Rose blocking their team boost. Next up, they have a MILA Rose. In this case, though, she is T22. I've not actually gone ahead and done that just yet. I should, though, especially for Brave Battles because it does make a big difference. And in that case, damn, we got absolutely destroyed. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe they got the weakening. I'm not too sure. Although maybe I need to give my characters T22, especially MILA Rose, because when you're doing a mirror match like that, the better MILA Rose wins, and maybe they, in that case, had the better MILA Rose. But you know what, to be fair, one loss after like 22 plus games isn't too bad, honestly. Isn't too bad. Now, they have the barrier. Does that ruin it for us? Because I haven't given my MILA Rose Pierce barrier. And you know what? Maybe I didn't need to. I guess that's one thing to keep in mind when playing with MILA, when you're going against other MILA Rose, right? Pay attention to their bonus abilities in the chance they do have Pierce barrier. Because on more so, they have start barrier. Because if they do, that could be an issue, right? Especially when it's very close in terms of stats. Again, you always want to make sure your MILA Rose is built better than theirs. And if they have barriers, you might want to quickly change your bonus abilities to include Pierce barrier. With that said, though, their MILA Rose goes on super quick, finishing in this game and our final match in just 6 seconds time. So yeah, there you go. Basically, what is right now the best Brave Battle team: Askin, Renji, and also MILA Rose. A quite diverse roster in terms of affiliation. We have a Quincy, we have a Soripa, and also a Ronka. Pretty cool stuff, right? Obviously, though, to no one's surprise, MILA Rose is super busted, and it really just comes down to that one skill, Persistence Breaker. It just gives her the advantage against any other character right now, especially those that have the Persistence skill. We've been through a meta like this in the past when, you know, Safui Yamamoto first came out. He was the first character to have invincibility and ignore invincibility. So it's kind of like history repeating itself. And I guess the question now, once more, where does it go from now, and when is it going to balance out? Because while Yamamoto was super dominating at one point, eventually he kind of became mediocre. With Persistence Breaker now in the mix, future characters are going to have it. Eventually, we might just stop getting persistence as a skill. Again, there was that brief time where characters were releasing without invincibility, and that allowed SP characters to make a comeback. So it might feel super toxic right now. Eventually, as we get more characters, though, it will start becoming a bit more lenient, I guess, if that kind of makes sense. At least just based off of past trends. We're gonna have to wait and see what kind of have planned for the next Brave Battle character. And again, that character likely will release during the 10th anniversary. More specifically, Part 2, July 31st. With that said, though, that's basically MILA Rose in a nutshell. Overall, super dominant character. Personally, I'm a fan of it in the idea that it's MILA Rose. Like, you know, the skills are whatever. I understand it's toxic, but we were all basically expecting this to happen eventually. But I do like the design of 1000-year Blood with MILA Rose, even Sunset and Apache too, so I'm glad they are included in the game. And as a MILA Rose fan, personally, I don't dislike the fact that they made her a Brave Battle unit. I think she kind of suits the bill, and again, it's nice to have Aronkas now good in the Brave Battle meta. If anyone cares about that, it's maybe not that big of a deal. but I kind of like it when non-conventional characters become Brave Battle units. And I do like it when Brave Battles isn't just filled of captains and, Sternritter. Like, captains as a whole, as an affiliation, have pretty much dominated Brave Battles over the last, 8 years. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Take care, and peace.